Welcome to MetamOrphOsis. These 13 oracles seem to arise from a world that knows itself as alive, a world that remembers that matter is not inert, that soil dreams, that waters remember, that trees carry stories older than language, and that bodies, human and other than human, are not objects, but gatherings of memory, rhythm, and relationship. They speak of existence as long breathing ceremony, when nothing stands alone and nothing arrives finished, where each being is shaped through countless crossings, exchanges, and transformations that began long before any of us were born and will continue long after we are gone. What moves through them is a deep trust in metamorphosis as the fundamental gesture of life. The understanding that to live is to be continually dissolved and reformed, to pass through thresholds, to shed skins, to rest in the dark, to gather strength in hidden places, and to emerge again carrying shapes we could not have imagined for ourselves. They remember a time, and perhaps call us toward a time, when humans did not stand apart from the living world, but spoke with it, listened to it, tended relationships with rivers and bees, ancestors and stars, and understood ritual not as performance, but as the simple, radical act of paying attention to what is sacred in each moment. Within this cosmology, identity is not a fixed portrait but a moving landscape, a braid of lineages that includes human ancestors and also forests, fungi, ocean, birds, fire, and moonlight. To ask who you are is therefore to ask which relationships are currently shaping you and which ones are waiting to be remembered. Grief is not treated as a failure of strength, but as an expression of love that has depth and history. A force capable of turning into seeds, into birds, into new life, that carries tenderness forward, even when the heart feels heavy. Perception itself becomes a living organ, capable of learning to see in darkness, to sense through skin and breath and intuition, to recognize intelligence in places that dominant cultures have been trained to ignore. Movement appears not as constant acceleration, but as cyclical intelligence, where rest, retreat, and pause are honored alongside action, and where spirals rather than straight lines describe the true shape of becoming. Queerness in this tapestry feels less like an identity category and more like a cosmological principle. The blessing of forms that refuse to fit inherited templates, the emergence of bodies and lives that have no existing myth and therefore must become their own mythology. Again and again, the oracles seem to gesture towards a simple but profound remembering that humans are threshold beings, born at the meeting point of earth and cosmos, carrying blood that remembers oceans and bones, that remembers stars, capable of walking as bridges between worlds when they choose to listen. Taken together, these voices do not offer a map toward perfection, enlightenment, or escape. Instead, they offer an invitation into deeper participation, into a way of living where to feel, to change, to grieve, to love, to speak, and to move in truth are understood as spiritual acts. The story they weave is not about ascending beyond life, but about falling more deeply into relationship with it, discovering again and again and again that the world is not a problem to solve, but a mystery to enter, a conversation to join, a body that is continually becoming itself. And within that vast, tender, ferocious becoming, you are not a bystander. You are part of the weaving. Welcome, welcome, welcome.